Hello, everybody. Welcome to a rather late live stream, Merlin the Mighty live stream. I planned to do it about an hour ago, but I got a little sidetracked, so I apologize if anybody was waiting. I might do another one of these, maybe one, two more of these in the next week or so. I'm trying to kind of fit in things as possible. Hello, Jogging King. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for keeping an eye out. Yeah, I just kind of felt like doing it because I had a game planned, I think, for later today, and then I didn't come up. So I was like, hey, I got some free time. Maybe do a Q&A and talk about some news things. So feel free to ask questions or listen and respond to some of the things I'm talking about. And of course, like and share this as well. Get more people involved, get more conversations brewing, and then more likely to keep it going. Otherwise, it might be a shorter one, but that's okay. I'll probably do another one later. First bit of news, actually. I watched the first episode of Loki. I talked to my buddy Troll about that, and I liked it, actually. I thought it was fun. I kind of like the exploration of Loki's character they're going for, kind of talking about how much influence over his life he has. And I find that my favorite thing about it was kind of the whole sort of retro futuristic tech of the time management organization. I kind of like their sort of 1950s Jetsons bureaucratic comedic bent on the whole thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, they made use of plenty of footage from some of the previous movies, but it's kind of a good way to get that in. But overall, I was pretty impressed by it. I thought Owen Wilson was actually pretty decent, well as Mr. Mobius. So I thought they had some pretty good chemistry. Um, yeah, we were kind of discussing how it kind of might be a little questionable in terms of how the rules of the universe work. Because I guess these Time Lord people, I mean, I'm sure they're probably in the comics somewhere, but I'm not as familiar with them. So, and just the fact that these people are, of course, supposed to be managing this, but they'll just kind of murder anybody who I guess deviates. And they said that it was like, even if you tried to take over the world or something, or if you just were like late for work, like even minor variations, you'll just get destroyed. And my buddy Troll brought up an interesting point of how kind of makes them, it seemed like they're set up to possibly be villainous, because when they put Loki on trial, it was like, okay, we're basically saying you're guilty, and they're going to try to obliterate him. But what would the trial have really been in that case? Because he did make an interesting point about how the Avengers kind of went back through time and sort of broke the rules, but they said they were supposed to do that. Who dictates that? And really, him being there was kind of an accident. So, yeah, I mean, that seems a little odd, but maybe that might be showing that they don't have the best intentions. Not really sure, actually. Oh, yeah, and that kind of ties into what Joggin asked. You know, Black Widow is one of the few movies coming out soon that I'm looking forward to seeing. I I'm hoping with COVID kind of, I guess, sort of loosening up now. I'm hoping to try and get some people together to watch it, and it might be maybe like a bigger movie event in the theaters, which would be the first time I would have done that with my friends here on the channel since before COVID. So really, I mean, what, like probably a year and a half, something like that. Because the last movie I saw in theaters that was new was Birds of Prey. Though I recently went with my girlfriend to see Quiet Place 2, which I thought was very good. I liked the first one, and I really hope that wins for sound design somewhere. And I guess that we were talking to some people about it, and apparently the first one got nominated in some places and lost out, but just sound design was great. I really like it, and I'm excited for the next one. Though they had, of course, one or two people did some dumb horror movie things, but beyond that, I thought it was pretty great. But this hopefully might be, hopefully getting more people to come in and do like a review video for it. So I think that I've probably said this before, but with Black Widow specifically, I feel like she should have gotten a movie years ago. I think the best time to do it would probably have been after Winter Soldier because that was like, I'd say that was around peak Marvel, around that point when they were just like in that time. A couple years after that, because they had Guardians, Winter Soldier, and they just seemed like they had a couple really strong years there, just leading up to the Infinity War movies, and that's when I feel like Black Widow was kind of like on everybody's minds at most because she was partnered with Cap, and I think she really was kind of like the other act in that movie. So I think that she could have gotten her own film like a year or two after that, and that would have been like good timing. But yeah, and then combine that with the fact with spoilers, she kind of died already. So this is kind of like a prequel after having her, after having seen her basically end her story, which also got delayed like another year because of all the COVID stuff, on top of the fact that she probably should have had a movie years ago. I really just think it's kind of unfortunate. And that actually does lead me into kind of another topic. And you said you wished the Punisher would have met Black Widow in the MCU. I think that that's still possible because I believe John Bernthal is coming back for, is it another Netflix series or movie? Who knows? I don't know if he would get to meet Black Widow because I don't know if she has any plans to do any more movies. Though I was thinking about and I'm curious to see what everybody else thinks about this too. The trajectory of the MCU movies over the next couple years is something I'm really curious about because uh, I know that there's been some trailers for things coming out, and I'm not really entirely sure. It's I guess uh, Disney obviously wants to make money, and they're not known for like halting. It has to be like constant production. But I wish that there was a way they could take a break sometimes. And I say this about a lot of things. Sometimes I just think that the entire industry needs to take a break because you know in everybody's minds, I still think that, I mean, there is a lot of anticipation and passion for those characters, but those main big Avengers they had, obviously Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk. Some of them aren't around anymore. Some of them it's kind of like, okay, how many more movies are they going to be in? And obviously the age of the actors we take into account, and it feels way too soon to just try and recast, you know, Iron Man and Captain America. I mean, they might try to kind of have people stand in, but for many people, those characters are the actors that portrayed them, and those particular characters from the comics. So it's just the association. So you got those core characters, and trying to kind of push on with this next phase of these other characters. There are some strong ones there, like Doctor Strange is interesting, and I was thinking about it too. There's probably enough momentum that they could get by with a bit because in the comics, it's interesting. A lot of people might not know this. Yes, the core Avengers years ago in the '60s, that was a smaller group with the bigger heroes like Iron Man and Cap and Thor originally, but they didn't stick around as much. Like throughout a lot of the run of the comics, it was kind of a revolving door. It's not like the Justice League where it's pretty much a lot of the time a who's who, where you've got four or five at least of the biggest heroes making up the core cast of the book, and then you usually had like one or two kind of interesting people to mix it up. Whereas the Avengers, it was never usually the A people. Like Captain America was pretty much always there. I think Iron Man was there pretty consistently, but that was usually it for the big ones. I know Thor was there sometimes. Hulk wasn't really there. Actually, Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and Vision and Black Widow, I think, were kind of uh, primarily the group. And Ant-Man, I remember. I think they were like really the base of the Avengers. So we have a lot of those characters still available that could maybe carry it, but I don't know if any of them have as much charisma or as defined characters to the degree of, say, Iron Man. Let's see. Here's Black Widow. Yeah, Black Widow 2. Oh, uh, Gamora movie. Gamora was gonna get a movie. That'd be cool. Oh, Yelena, not Natasha. I see. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm not like the Eternals are interesting characters, I guess, but I don't know how much you can really do with them as a franchise because it's kind of almost like Marvel's Sandman and that Kung Fu movie. I'm sure it's fine, but it doesn't really seem like super about that. I mean, really, for me, the only stuff I'm kind of interested in is the Spider-Man stuff because I feel like his movies could be kind of independent from the rest of Avengers. And they did make a heck of a convoluted timeline, and they've kind of emulated the comics themselves, which kind of get like that. So that sort of makes sense. But let's see. Another bit of news too. I recently saw the He-Man trailer for the Kevin Smith He-Man that's going to be coming out, I think, in July, and I have to say I saw the trailer, and it's kind of the thing that in the back of my mind I've been wanting for years. I was like, yeah, we can get a more adult-oriented He-Man show, so that would be pretty cool. And I saw the trailer, and I thought it was pretty awesome. Though my buddy Troll told me that apparently He-Man is only gonna be like in the first episode, and then most of the show's really about Tila, which I think is a little odd of a focus. So I don't know if that's really true or not, but I know there was some controversy about that. So I hope that He-Man's in it more than one episode because that would be kind of disappointing. I think Venom's coming out this year too. That's sort of Marvel related. I'm looking forward to that kind of. Um, Though I don't know. I think a lot of people really liked Venom, and I was sort of kind of in the minority, but I feel like I was almost forced to like it in a way because I remember being in the theater and it was just like people loved it. It was like a packed theater and people were just enjoying it. And I was just like, this seems so wrong because Venom's, he's a villain. I think he's best when he's eating people. So it was weird. They somehow managed to make him charming, but I don't know if it's really Venom. But whatever. I'm interested in seeing the next movie. I just kind of wish that he was a villain that fought Spider-Man. That would have been a better introduction, I think, because that's just my favorite is classic Venom, though. Maybe he is a little one note after a while. I just thought he was scary visually and kind of monstrous. But, if other people like it, that's fine. Let's see. What else I have to talk about here? Kind of going back through and watching some older classic anime with my buddy Nick. We've been putting up polls out so people can vote on that to see what they'd like us to watch. We've been watching mostly Hakusho and Fullmetal Alchemist, so that's been kind of cool. It's been jogging my memory here and kind of giving me some inspirations for some potential videos to come out with. I also don't know what prompted it, but I was listening to some of the Bruce Falconer soundtrack for Dragon Ball Z, and it made me want to go back and listen to some of the fight music for certain scenes, and then go back and watch fights. And I watched just Vegeta versus Android 19, Goku versus Android 19, which I really liked that fight from a plot perspective more than anything because I watched the original Funimation dub, which I thought was man, it's funny how corny it is, but I will admit some of those classic Vegeta lines, just batteries running low. It gets me. That there is some truly iconic stuff that did kind of bring back fun memories. I obsessively watched that stuff back in the day. I like that saga is my favorite. I want to do a video about that too, but I think there's still a place for that original cheesy dub. Let's see. Black Widow's Brand Thor. Yeah, I did not see Jujutsu Kaisen, though I heard about it. How would I have redone the Boo saga? I actually wanted to go back and watch the Kai version of it because the Boo saga was something that I did not give as much of a chance back in the day. Like I used to kind of say, oh, that's my least favorite. I used to hate on it quite a bit, but I've kind of had a newfound sort of appreciation for it a little bit because I get that it was kind of almost going back to these more fun, silly kind of basis for what Dragon Ball really was initially. So what would I have done differently? I mean, if it was me, if I was writing it or I was in charge of the show, I probably would have done less comedy, and I would have tried to find a way to make it a little more balanced with the many characters that were involved. Because as we all know, I think that one of the big problems with the series is just kind of uh, everybody, everybody being pushed aside, and it's really just about a couple of characters. I mean, we all say it's kind of, like with Super, it's the Goku Vegeta show, and it's weird because I think a lot of people's standpoint, I find that kind of boring, and I know that Super did try to kind of fix that a little bit by with the last tournament arc there, giving other characters something to do, which was cool. But I wish there was more of a balance of that because I think that's one thing that a lot of series after Dragon Ball did that kind of typically worked was, yeah, you've got your main characters, but there were other ones there who could do something to contribute more a little evenly. From what I understand, from what I saw, but I think One Piece was a pretty good balancing act because everybody's got different skills and they have moments they can show off in the party, so to speak. But not saying that Dragon Ball didn't have that. I mean, I think especially in the early years when Goku was a kid, I think that there was more of that. But basically, for the Buu saga, I would have probably had more of the characters involved longer. And I admit that there still would have been as much destruction, and I would have leaned more into Boo being a monster, but kind of taken away some of the comedy because I think that there's something kind of horrifying about him being this guy who could kind of eat people, like the candy thing. I would probably take away, but he could kind of like absorb people. I think he kind of did that too, where he just kind of could make himself more liquidy and just kind of be like an ooze, like the Blob or something. And I would have tried to give him maybe a little more personality, and I probably would have. I actually would have probably had a different design to it. He would have been his final form would have been more like the Super Boo, but gray, like the gray, because the gray Boo was like the evil Boo. I probably would have leaned into that more, that evil side of his personality. Uh, Maybe had him absorb more people and not have the little switches. It just would have made him more powerful. Um, I think that would have been probably it. I also would have built up to him more because I actually think Boo came in too soon. Hey, hero, what's up? Um, and I really like my favorite part of the saga. Well, okay, well, my favorite part, obviously, I like the tournament. I think that the initial tournament, the Budokai Tenkaichi, should have been longer. I think we should have seen that stretched out a little bit more. Uh, I think that there should have been a little more interaction with Babidi. And my favorite part though is the ship thing because I think that going onto his ship and fighting the different henchmen, there should have been more of them, and they should have been a little bit less easy to defeat. Like as funny as I think it is to watch them, destroy Pui Pui and Yakon, I think that they had a really cool idea because these were interesting villains with designs and techniques that stood out. And once again, kind of echoing the early seasons, but they were much too powerful, which I get that, but they could have had done more with the henchmen because I think they should have built up more to Boo as something they should have stopped. And I honestly think Deborah could have been an arc unto himself, and maybe he could have like turned on Boo when he saw that it was like something they couldn't control and found a way to harness it. Because I just think he was a much more interesting villain. Um, but future Gohan dying, I mean, of course, is sad. But yeah, Team Urameshi, they're still up there. I think that's actually the perfect example of balancing the cast and giving them all something to do. But that's also because it's smaller. Most shows have bigger casts like that if they're shown in. Hero just finished Darkwing Duck, watching Tarzan, and saw Brother Bear for the first time. I watched Brother Bear once a long time ago, I think on a trip there for scouts for camping. I thought Brother Bear was okay. It's got kind of a dark ending though. What'd you think about it? Spopovich and Deborah were brutal. Yeah, they were. They were. But yeah, they didn't do too much ultimately. So yeah, I thought that was a bit disappointing as well. You guys hear that thunder in the background? Storm. Very humid. I think it's going to rain. But yeah, Yamu and Spopovich. Yeah, they had really cool designs. And I liked the fact that they were humans who, were amplified by Babidi's power with the Majin and kind of like brought out their dark side to make them stronger. Like seeing actual humans be a threat was just was interesting. I think they could have explored that too. Um, I think, and I have said this before too, that I really like Boo's of all the villains. I actually think I like Boo's backstory the most. I find it the most interesting because it's like you've got the gods and the ancient wizard and his absorbing the energy and different personalities and just the fact that he's like this pure destructive force. It's really interesting. It feels very classic and epic in scope. But I do like that. And something else I probably would have done too. Uh, I probably would not have had Goten and Trunks be at the forefront of a lot of that stuff. I wouldn't have done Fusion. I think Fusion ultimately proved to be a waste of time anyway, and it was just a gimmick. And I've never been a big fan of it. I always thought that was something unique to the Namekians and should have been kept that way. I don't mind Piccolo being in a mentor role, but there basically should have been more of that. I also think 18 could have done more because she's pretty powerful. So I don't know. I just think that I would have condensed it in some places, but definitely sprinkled things in other ways. Vegeta's whole thing I probably would have kept the same though. I don't know if he necessarily would have had to come back and fuse though. I think just be separate like he was originally would be fine. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much all I would do differently, I think. But let's see. I've been playing a lot of kind of classic games for a while now. I beat Half-Life, the original one. It was set on the hardest difficulty by somebody, and I kept slogging through it, and I just beat it. Very little health, but I got through it. Then I went through Half-Life 2, so I'll be kind of waiting for Half-Life 3 for who knows how long, like everybody else. But I'm probably going to try and play some of the expansions and episodes and get on deathmatch there. I feel like that's one thing I'm doing a lot since I've just been playing a lot of Half-Life Deathmatch, which is fun. And I just think it's really a great game, very immersive, really holds up well, really great atmosphere. And since I've been kind of a shooter mode, I'm gonna try and play more BioShock. Which it's funny, I started playing it and I was more used to the fluidity of Half-Life's controls, and BioShock is definitely more of a narrative experience. And it's interesting how, well, so is Half-Life, but Half-Life uses kind of minimalism at its best, and you can kind of see the building blocks and look at see how BioShock did that, and it's really you're kind of being guided more linearly through things, whereas you can kind of explore things a little more, even though you're also being guided literally in Half-Life. But I really like. I was saying how easy it was initially, but then it started getting hard. I'm like, ah, dang it, this is difficult. And also, I started playing God of War, the newest one that came out, and it handles differently. But even just like those opening moments, I'm like, wow, I'm really into the cinematic quality of this, and I really enjoy it. The visuals are great, and it's really satisfying. There's a certain heaviness to the Kratos using the axe, and it's kind of leaning more into these Norse things. I feel like ever since Skyrim came out, so many games have just leaned into the Viking stuff, especially the last couple of years. I mean, you had Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I think there were some other things too, were kind of Viking-esque as well. But I've been feeling a lot of that lately. Don't know what's up with that. It's like zombies, and the Vikings. It's like right around the time, like Walking Dead, Game of Thrones came out. It's like everything just kind of was like that for the next 10 years. And God of War, they shifted more towards Norse because he killed all the Greek gods. And I remember that those original games, I feel like they just handled I really loved the first couple of games, and the flow of a lot of his attacks was so fluid. So it's kind of interesting how they integrated that in a different way. But no, it's been good. And the voice, I was like, yeah, that's different. Who is that? I'm like, it's Teal'c from Stargate. I'm like, I love how most of his dialogue is, I don't know. Be quiet. Because his son, I really love how it's great because it's interesting how Kratos, once again, his whole thing was based on vengeance in the previous games, and he seems like really kind of a bastard. Like, he's very much an anti-hero, but that one quality of like he got screwed over completely, and yet he kind of managed to find a way to go out in hiding and have a family again. But it seems like he's trying not to be a warrior. Like there's some guilt about things that because he clearly and I love how his interactions with his son kind of make that clear because there's a great moment. It's really was very surprising because I'm used to seeing Kratos as being this guy who is pretty much ruthless, doesn't care who's in the way. You can kind of play him in a way that you can save people, but you don't have to. And he when they're going hunting in that opening scene, and he tells his son to finish off the deer, and his son can't do it. You know, there there's that great moment where he kind of wants to almost comfort his son, and he kind of always is going to touch him to comfort him and decides not to. So it's clear he's like still very reserved about showing any compassion. But it's hard to think like the old Kratos, even like the kid makes these little comments. They're a bit smartass, but it's amazing how the kid seems like a kid, but he's still likable. Like he's not annoying. I actually really like him, and I like that you can kind of help him as a ranged character to kind of support you. And there really is a lot of love I think Kratos has for his son and for his wife previously. That's there, and it's a different side to Kratos. I really appreciate that. So I'm not very far in the game. I actually did a little live stream recently where I got stuck because I met the heavy Draugr things and I get killed a couple times. So I'm gonna have to check one of the combos or something because I was like, so man, that last section I looked really bad. It's like that's why I was hesitant about streaming because it's like okay, if I've played the game before and I know what I'm doing, I can look kind of like what I'm doing. But first time playing this game, I'm like crud, this is difficult. It's not even on the hardest difficulty or anything. But man, it's tough. Okay, got some more comments here. Let's see. Brother Bear did feel like two different movies, right? Opening scene was very different, man versus nature. Second half had regret and accountability, but Stay as a Bear was just what? Yeah, weird ending, especially for Disney. But once again, like what? It's kind of messed up. Like he's stuck as a bear, separated from his family. Like I'm glad he saw the other side of what he did to the bears, but you are now a bear. Like that is it. So weird, man. Weird. I saw it once, like one of the last of the newer Disney movies that came out. I missed a bunch kind of in that time, like pretty much after I think after Atlantis, it started being very like sporadic about which ones I saw. Uh, I'll tell you what though, Lilo and Stitch I didn't see until like a couple of years back, like 5 years ago. And it's one that I kind of avoided because I thought that just I was at that phase when I was a teenager. I kind of thought it was too old, too mature for Disney movies for a while, which is weird because I love Disney. I grew up on Disney. I'm a big Disney fan, so even and I was like, yeah, these newer ones, it's for kids. I don't know. My point is that silly phase, but I thought Lilo and Stitch was really good. I was really good, and then Tarzan also was one that I didn't like that much as a kid, but going back and watching it, Tarzan was good. Tarzan was very well animated too, with the very very 90s with the what was it the branch surfing. Like, how can we make Tarzan radical and cool for the 90s, man? Just they found a way. They found a way. What if Black Widow became Peter Parker's mentor instead of Iron Man? I think that would be better because I don't know how responsible Tony Stark is as a mentor. Tarzan, I enjoyed a lot more. Oh, he said a lot. They capitalized a lot, which I think Tarzan seems like more kind of movie. And I also think it's a better film. Didn't remember seeing so much physical fighting and some violence. Oh, yeah, that brutal death with, is it Clayton? That he gets like hung basically? Intense. Can get grind, slide on the tree branches, plus mind swing. Yeah, very, very well animated. And Phil Collins, man, gave us that Tarzan soundtrack. What a voice! What a voice! Yes, I did see the Red Letter Media Star Trek quiz. It was great. I knew some, but I missed more than I thought. Like I love it. I hope they do more of those. Poor Jay met with it. I feel like it's got to be playing it up. Like he hasn't been friends with those guys for like 20 years and doesn't know that little about Star Trek. I don't think that's possible. But great game show though. What was it? Mike put in votes for the Dota. Did you see their newest best the worst? Ape. We gotta watch Ape. Literally, what they're doing there, watching bad movies and trying to find the best of them. That's like a dream job. I would totally do that. Good stuff. All right, Hero. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but I know you've told me a couple of your favorite characters, but if you had to say the entire compendium of Star Trek shows you've seen, who's your favorite character? I think I know who it is, and I'm gonna read more stuff while you figure it out. Oh, actually, that's perfect because I wanted to talk about Star Trek next in the my little list here of things to talk about. I was obviously playing through Half Life, and I think one of the things about the lore that I find interesting is the G-Man and his motivations, and he can do so much. And I realize G-Man reminds me a little bit of Q, and I think he's kind of like this chaotic force that is just sort of manipulating events, kind of because he just wants to for his amusement, but maybe I want to say just maybe he kind of wants it to go a certain way. Like he wouldn't put Gordon Freeman in those positions to save everybody if he didn't, want him to succeed. But he seems so evil and creepy. He seems like just an eviler version of Q to me. But Q starts off kind of honestly kind of evil, but sort of gets turned around by his interactions with Picard and all of them because he kind of sees the goodness that humanity has to offer. And I really like Q's arc. I think he might be. I mean, he's not one of the main cast, but I know that I think of all these Next Generation episodes, usually the Q ones were some of my favorites. Like I love John Delancey's Q. I think he's great. Black Widow would be trained by Peter and probably get more responsible with Peter probably being a mother figure for him. Maybe. Or it could go a different direction. That's possible too. What else have I been doing? I mostly have just been kind of, instead of keeping up on more modern shows, I've just been going back and rewatching things like I normally do. I watched all Breaking Bad again recently because I wanted to compare it to Better Call Saul to figure out which one's better, and both of them were good. I don't know which one I think's better. I think they're both really good, but different speeds. I've also been watching Mad Men recently. I really like how they sort of capture that 1950s clashing with the 60s changing aesthetic. Though I realize I've seen a lot more Mad Men than I thought. I think I watched a lot of it years ago and just forgot a lot of it. I think I think that John Hamm. Somebody brought up to me, Troll actually again brought up to me, thought that John Hamm would make a good Batman or the Shadow, and I think he would. I think he's got the voice, he's got the look, he's got the build. John Hamm should play like a classic cult superhero or something. But yeah, that show's kind of dark in its own way. And I realized that of all like the big golden age TV dramas over the past like 20 years, like everything post Sopranos, I realized the thing about Mad Men that's different is that most of those other shows, they're crime dramas or crime thrillers. Like you got Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire, Boardwalk Empire, stuff like that. Like most of the big shows like that they're crime dramas. And I mean, I know people love crime dramas, but Mad Men is always lumped in there with that. I guess like if it's a cop show, I mean Dexter's up there, and I think the Shield. But these are all like cop shows, or there's about serial killers. Like it's all violent crime stuff. But Mad Men is just about like corporate businessmen in like the '60s advertising, and just kind of a character study around this man and his reaction to that time period and all the shifting. A lot of cultural commentary about stuff that still I think feeds into issues today about gender issues, race issues, class issues, and ideas of the American dream, and maybe how it's not always cracked up to be what it is. But there's one thing about Mad Men that I think is kind of annoying me, and I don't know if anybody cares on here or anybody will give me an opinion later. But I liked the first season because there's this whole mystery around Don Draper is not who he says he is. Like, oh, he's actually Dick Whitman, stole this guy's identity. And I like that we got little hints of it, little flashbacks. And I don't like that they kind of sort of resolve it in terms of Sterling Cooper in the first season, like right away, because there's this thing where Pete Campbell, who's the son of Angel from the Buffy series, by the way, which always throws me. I'm like, oh wait, that guy was an Angel? Like what? Yeah, I like him better in Mad Men actually. But the weird thing is they have these hints of his backstory, and like, okay, this guy's hiding things from his family, from his coworkers. He's not really connected with anybody. what's up with that. And I kind of would have liked more of that mystery. But then Pete Campbell comes up and it's like, I'm going to blackmail you and tell the boss, this man's not who he says he is. How can you trust a man like that? And the guy's like, who cares? Which I guess says, as a commentary about like what it matters, because the guy brings in business and what does it really matter? That mystery, and then we still get hints later, and I'm like, well then, I know we learn more, but I kind of would have liked more mystery about that. I don't know. I really don't know. But I find it interesting Mad Men's always lumped in, even though it's not a crime show. What sets it apart? It's well made, but it just throws me off. Spock, question mark. Data, 7 of 9. The Doctor. Worf. I'm not really sure. Probably Spock. He defines Star Trek to me more, and I'm sure to many. I actually thought you were going to say Data. I know, interesting, Data was your number 2. I always put people on the spot and I don't have a good answer myself. I want to say Spock is kind of like Star Trek. I think he embodies it at its core. And I think iconically, you see Spock and you just know there's no question. So I think Spock's a great character. He's probably my favorite character. I always really liked Dr. McCoy, though. And of course, Kirk. I like Picard, Data. I also like Worf. I like pretty much everybody on DS9. 7 of 9 is good. The Doctor. I also really like the Doctor on the Enterprise too. On Enterprise, I always forget his name though. I like him. But yeah, I have a lot of characters I like. But no, I think that Spock's a good answer. Data's. I feel like it's usually Spock or Data for most people. There's a couple of characters on a lot of the shows that I find like I don't care about as much. Like I like Riker a lot, but I could understand you not really needing him in a lot of ways. They had a different idea for him in the beginning. I'll also tell you, I hate to say this, but I don't really care much about Geordi. I don't know why. I like him, but he was never like the most important to me. I don't know. I don't know why. I remember when Linkin Park AMVs were a thing. I think that might be the most basic. That's like the beginnings of AMVs, because it's very interesting. You think about the early internet, you think early YouTube, and even before YouTube went, like the beginning of video sharing. Think about that. Early 2000s, you had Adult Swim, you had Toonami, and you had Linkin Park with their first couple albums. Combine that, it's all Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan transformations and fights with a lot of Linkin Park stuff. And that's all it was. Even the editing, not even timing certain fights or edits with different, changes in the melody. That there wasn't even much the bass stuff. I've thought about it. I've never actually made an AMV. I almost feel like I should just once, because I know it's a very passe thing to do. Like it's very old school, but there was something I did in some of my early videos where I would have intros with some clips, and there'd be some rock music or something that were AMV-esque, which I sort of did accidentally, and people liked it. So I might do some of that again. I actually wanted to do this Full Metal Alchemist one a long time ago, and I don't know if I could do it now because it's not appropriate. I don't want it to get it flagged or taken down, or I don't want it to like interfere if it was found. I don't want to be embarrassed about it. But there was a suggestion. I really wanted to use some Rammstein with it because FMA is Germany and whatnot. So I thought that'd be appropriate. The problem with Rammstein, though, is that they are extremely not copyright friendly. There's nothing unofficial on YouTube with Rammstein. It's only on their stuff. That I don't know if it's a German law or something, but I found this out the other day. Rammstein doesn't even have music on Spotify. And I'm like, what? They're one of those people. And so I'm like, it would be great to use them, but that's why you probably don't see many Rammstein AMVs, because there's probably just not that many. But yeah, there is one. It has an inappropriate title, so I won't say it. But Somebody requested I do that years ago. I might try and do one though at some point. If anybody has any ideas for A and Bs they like, oh, actually, there's another one I wanted to do. I wanted to do an A and B that wasn't an anime one, but it was actually a DCAU. It was a one about Brainiac, and I won't say what it is in case I do it, but it's very stupid. But there's a song that I could use in association with Brainiac, even though it has nothing to do with the character, but I could kind of get away with it, and it's so dumb, but it's right in with like a lot of the probably the basic ideas for AMVs, but that's another one I kind of want to do. And I wanted to throw in this random Dragon Ball reference because I could, like a still image or something. That'd be a cool project. Right, good for editing practice. I listen to a lot of stuff. I'd say I mostly like hard rock, heavy metal, but I also really like electronic music. I like some rap, some like classical music and folk rock. Pretty much anything, honestly. I'd probably say I lean more towards rock and electronic music, like heavy metal and stuff. But Rammstein's a band I really like, so that's one. O'Brien, yeah, O'Brien's good. I think O'Brien is an engineer that I prefer. I like him. Scotty, of course, is great. Um, I don't know if I like him. I think the one girl from Voyager's all right. I like the guy from Enterprise. I can do Hakusho, but with DMX. You're gonna have to explain the logic there to me. Why that particular one? Please give me a hint. X gonna give it to you. Stop your own. There's something. Knock knock. Something. I'm gonna share this now. I'm gonna share the link so I can get more people in here. Please, of course, like, share, all that good stuff. Try to get more people because more people conversing, longer the stream goes. Because I'm not tired yet, though. I'm not going to probably do it too much later. I don't want to, gotta try to get to bed earlier. I have to get on a better sleep schedule soon. So, late nights like these are hopefully not going to be as consistent of a thing. I'm going to share this on Twitter, share it on Facebook, all the good stuff, please follow me on Twitter and join the Facebook group if you aren't in already. I can leave some links in below. I typically do. Let's see. Continuing down. For an AMV, you might have to make a separate channel. Yeah, just because of copyright stuff, right? Like that's another reason I never wanted to do too, because you use a lot of clips, a lot of music. Certainly couldn't monetize, and I don't want to get flagged, but I remember, I think you made some AMVs, Hero, back in the day that I thought were pretty cool, if I remember correctly. Black Widow would have been more, sad, But the way would have met Atlanta and MCU if Natasha mentored, considering she would have died still. That's true. There would definitely be more to consider with Peter's end on that. I think Peter could use more mentor figures anyway, though it would be great if we could have enough movies where he grows up and becomes Spider-Man. We could have more movies where he's Spider-Man. Wouldn't that be something? Been looking up some origins of DC villains. I was shocked to find out Doomsday was an experimental baby. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, dude. I remember I have one of the graphic novels for Doomsday. Doomsday is tragic. His origins are messed up, man. That's why he's so powerful, because he adapts, because he was killed and on this like horrible planet over and over again by this evil scientist guy. Like Doomsday is just rage, man. Like he's quite a monster. Like he was like this weakened creature, and he looks like that now because he's that's just kind of the process of him growing. DMX has way more songs than Give It To You. I'm sure he does, but I confess that my DMX knowledge never extended much more beyond that. The Mighty Minority joins the Merlin the Mighty live stream. How about that? Hello, welcome. Did you just join the chat or did you join the channel? Now that would be even more. Joggin King, if Black Widow mentored Peter, he would have been Spider-Man instead of Iron Boy Jr. Wow. Shots fired. Um, Truth, though, I do kind of enjoy the iron suit. Yeah, I do. I do sometimes. Yeah, let's get him to Spider-Man though. That's the goal. Give it like another what 5 years. Oh, Zorro fanboy reactions is here. Well, hello, sir. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Is that anybody see that movie Blended with the Adam Sandler? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's an inside joke nobody would understand. Yeah, we have Zorro here. Please check out his channel as well. How is your Colonel? Is that a Colonel? Colonel of Knowledge, KFC? I don't know what. How is your current channel doing, Zorro? Because I know Zorro had issues with his main channel, so he's got another one where he does a lot of One Piece reactions. So please, if you guys like One Piece stuff, check that out. But I think he's I don't know if I think he's got that channel reaction. You can see him in the chat here. Check him out if you like One Piece stuff. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Mighty Minority. Oh, I've been sub for a while. You never caught a stream. Well, I apologize. I apologize for that because my buddy Dan's always like, I like that you do the streams, but I never know when you're doing them, and that's because I never know when I'm doing them because one of the things would be to have a more consistent schedule, and I just don't typically, and I never know. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Like I had plans to do something today, didn't happen. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll do a little stream. Maybe I'll do more this week. I don't know. It's hard to predict. So yeah. If I ever get to the point where I know more consistently when I'll be able to do things, I will say I'll do it this day. But that's why you never know. It always is weird to me because some people don't see some videos, but then they see the stream. So I'm happy that you're here though. So feel free to listen to what we talk about, say questions and stuff. Sensui versus Pain, better villain. I want to say that I actually kind of think Pain's backstory is maybe a little more interesting. I also really liked the what were they called? His like the extensions he used basically with like avatars of different people. Like he was almost controlling them. I like that Pain was like a bunch of different people, but not really. Really cool villain. Sensui though, I think Sensui was a bit more charismatic. That might be one reason why a lot of people lean towards him. I probably more of a Sensui guy though. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Hero's been catching up a lot more on One Piece. We're trying to get Zoro in to do another podcast with him if you guys would like that. I'm trying to get more people from the Phantom group together because after the summer I'm going to be really busy, so I'm trying to do that. I remember you did tell me your schedule. I'll have to find out what it is again. Maybe we should try and do that soon. So Hero and you guys can get together, talk about some One Piece. Let's see, he's chapter 2 behind on One Piece. Fist of North Star is already available. Oh, that's right. Yep. There, it is getting. I'm surprised that didn't happen. Finally getting a new volume. Let's see. Any recent newer anime you've been watching? Well, they're going to recommend stuff to me. And there is a physical volume. I think he's right. Okay. That's right. Yeah, when did the Big Three era technically end? Like exactly. Yeah, I guess that has. Yeah, that's been over for a while, hasn't it? Is there a kind of Big Three right now? I don't think that really. It seems like there's stuff that like rises in popularity for a little bit and then doesn't really go anywhere. I know that Demon Slayer is like pretty popular right now, but I don't know what that is in comparison to like. I mean, there's like My Hero Academia, of course. I would say that if One Punch Man had more consistently been around, that would have been like a big thing. But when's the last time that had that second season? Like a couple years ago? Oh, it's over already? What? See that? Yeah. Wow. Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like all these shows they're either too short or it's like there's not consistent enough of an output for it to reach that level. So I don't know if it really is. Super is like its own separate thing, but I guess that's pretty big, obviously. Oh, the manga's done. Did Attack on Titan end yet? I don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, My Hero. Yeah, that's pretty much the new Naruto, though. Once again, the thing I appreciate about it that might be hurting its status as like big three level is that there's not that hundreds of episodes. It's like they got these smaller condensed seasons, which keeps the flow good. They keep it heavy on the plot. But from what I've watched, it's pretty good. Okay, yes, I think it did end, but yeah, last season recently, and I feel like the people didn't talk about it that much. Yeah, everything is seasonal, exactly. Everything is very seasoned. Black pepper, you know. Let's see what else have I been getting here on news related stuff. I'm almost down the list. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sopranos. It's like everything is to try to get back and watch The Sopranos, but I'm watching everything else in comparison to it to prepare for watching The Sopranos again instead of just watching clips over and over again. And I also thought about watching Sons of Anarchy again, which I had gotten into years ago, and then I stopped because they went to Ireland. I'm like, why did you go to Ireland? I just like that was like an arc, and I was like, no, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Oh yeah, Primal. I still need to watch more of that. Primal was so good. Oh yeah, Primal looked really good. Oh man. Let's see. Wow, that's actually it for my topics of stuff to talk about, really. So really, at this point, it's just questions and more, chats in the chat section. Uh, I know I still got a couple things I want to do for the channel this summer if I can. I wanted to do another Comics Without Context. I think I was going to do one about Godzilla because I found this weird one a long time ago. I read it was bizarre. Yeah, and also for those that didn't see, well, I guess I didn't actually upload that yet, but the audio book is out, so uh, feel free to check that out if you haven't already. I need to put that up. Actually, I'll probably do that when the stream is over because I've been up there for like a week now or something, and I didn't tell anybody on here. So yeah, I guess I got to do that. Yeah, well, that was it for my news and stuff. So really, people have more questions about stuff, feel free to answer them, or before I get a chance to answer them myself, and share the video, and we can keep going. We got some people in here. We got the Anime Hero, got Mr. Zoro Fanboy 124/reactions, Mr. Joggin King, who is literally the #1 Merlin stream fan. He's in like most of these. He's ready. He's always very excited. He's always like, do another stream, man. Like, I try. And then he asks me all these like weird crossover questions, and I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And I don't know if Mighty Minority is still here, but they're in the minority, but they're mighty. That's a good question. And I think I mentioned it in one of the recent videos I did with Nick, watching it again. I think it's really weird because online, talking to people here, it seems like it's got this strong reputation. Like everybody accepts that Yu Yu Hakusho is a classic anime. There's like very little dispute about this, but it's like I think a smaller number of people actually viewed it. So I suspect it has something to do with the fact that it lived in the shadow of Dragon Ball, basically. I think that was literally something I heard that it was like either on before or after on Toonami, and obviously Dragon Ball Z, bigger action, bigger stakes, just this much more epic thing. And I think that Hakusho just got overshadowed due to time slots, really, and maybe a little more mature. Obviously there was a little more going on that maybe people at that age group couldn't quite get into. Because watching with Nick, he was saying, as a kid, like, would he have been as excited? Because those first, like, what, 4, 5, 6 episodes are all just building on Yusuke's backstory, his character, learning a little bit more about how to become a spirit detective. And there's like a whole bunch of time just getting his body back. Like, there isn't really any fighting until like what, episode 4 or 5, really, with a demon, and then we don't really get into like any big arcs until Saint Beast, and it takes a while. And with Dragon Ball Z, you practically never had an episode without a fight, so that might have had something to do with it. Need to catch up on Megalobox. I'm leaning towards cartoons. DuckTales. Woohoo! That theme song, man. Bu- 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 D&D stream when? Uh, hey, you want to? Well, I would love to do one again, but I don't know how we would do it. We'd have to do it on. We'd have to find some way to record it with some software because that was a great thing with old Google Hangouts, is you could have multiple people in stream. Like I remember doing that Berserk game where we showed that off a couple times. I don't know. We'd have to find some way to record it somehow, but I'd totally be down for that. I've thought about recording some of my games with my friends here. I'm literally kind of was almost a little D&D'd out because the last, like, I'll tell you what, last weekend I had okay, like I'm in there's like a game once or twice a month I'm doing, which is Pathfinder, and I've been doing your game, which is 5e, and I usually do these games on Sunday with my friends, which we revolve. I was running a 5e one for the first time, and now my buddy Nick is doing Cthulhu Tech, which I played once before a long time ago. So this past weekend, I don't know if this one, but like the last one, I had Pathfinder on Friday, I had your game on Saturday, and then I had Cthulhu Tech on Sunday. So it was like 3 days a game, and I'm like, this is too much. It was too much. Cthulhu Tech's really weird though, because I remember it's a D10 system. So I remembered that it was like, I thought it was going to be similar to All Flesh Must Be Eaten or World of Darkness, which I really am comfortable with, because with those it's like it's D10 for your stats and most of your rolls, but with weapons and damage you get different dice. It's pretty simple, like, okay, roll this to attack for this and then roll this for damage or something. Only like a couple dice you use, but base D10. But with Cthulhu Tech, it's like, okay, you roll D10s based upon your attributes, but you get the certain number of dice rolled. Basically, however high that is the number of dice you roll. And then if you roll a 10, you can add on another dice. And if you roll 1, you have to subtract from the pool. And if you get a certain number of straights, it's like how to combine within that number of whatever the highest values you have determines how well you do. So it's like, in a weird way, it's very simple, but it's also weird. Like it's not as much adding of different bonuses based on attributes or weapons and stuff. I don't know how I feel about it. I made a character who basically the whole theme is like World War One, but we're investigating some sort of Lovecraftian creature somehow, and we have to go across the Badlands. And he wanted to give us an option of, basically, he reduced a lot of classes because generally it's more of like a futuristic thing with mechs and stuff, but he decided to use it and set it at World War One time. But so there's one guy that's like a secret agent, another guy who is like a soldier, which makes sense. And I'm like, well, I want to be like the bookish guy, that like a scholar that knows about the occult stuff. But basically, in combat situations, I'm not very good. So I was just kind of waiting, and like, if something actually happens and we fail our stealth stuff going across here, going behind enemy lines, I'm gonna be useless. Which is fine, because he said there wasn't going to be much combat. But if it's and at least in a Cthulhu Tech sort of game, it's like World of Darkness, where if you meet something in that game, you're done. Let's see. Oh, what else? Got a couple people talking. I don't know what the teens are watching these days. Why didn't Hunter x Hunter reach the popularity of Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia? Because it's old. Okay, that's not entirely true. Partially because it's older and it's been around a while, whereas something's newer and hipper. And also, Hunter x Hunter has those big hiatuses, so that's been a frustration too. That's probably why, because people can't consistently get hyped on it, because you have to wait for the manga to catch up if it ever does. So that's probably the real reason. Also because it's been around a while. That's right, OBS Studios. I know about like using that for streaming. Hey, if you want to do it, man, let me know and we can do it. We can do one of your games, or I can try to run a game. I don't know. That would be cool. I'm down for that. We can make that more of a thing, maybe. I don't use OBS too much. I used it a little bit to record when I was we were recording for the one movie thing, but but that's something my buddy Nick knows more about. I think he streamed his Magic games or something with that. Check out Susquehanna River Goblins. I don't know if they're still active, but they do those things over there. You'd have to be heavily into anime and manga to watch Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have liked it, but I didn't watch it when I was younger. I saw it many years ago. Like it was when I was starting to do YouTube videos that I actually finally. I've told the story before, but I like knew what Hakusho was. I started to watch it, and I couldn't quite get into it. I remember specifically somebody making fun of me for watching it, and I was like, well, then I guess I won't watch this silly show. But then Hero got me into Hunter x Hunter all those years ago, and then I became Hunter x Hunter fanboy for a while, and then I was like, well, if the guy that made Hunter x Hunter made Hakusho, people seem to like Hakusho even more, so maybe Hakusho's good, and Hakusho's very good. So there you go. The dinosaur sitcom, I watched that when I was a kid, and I didn't get it. It's probably another thing I need to watch more because I didn't see much of it. I heard that's very good, very mature show, darker themes. Is that on Disney Plus? Yes, I full weekend. I did have a full weekend. It was too full, to be honest. That's why I'm like, people was like, that a game didn't happen tonight. I'm like, I'm actually kind of happy about that because I just went to like this beer thing with my buddy Gimli, yesterday, and man, I was still recovering today. So I was like, I don't know if I can do a game tonight. Yes, I did talk about the Netflix He-Man, and Troll and I were talking about it. He was supposed to come over here and talk to me about it, but he was like, your apartment's too warm, so, I guess I talked about it by myself, but yeah, I saw the trailer, and I was really excited for it, man. I am still excited for it. I think, yes, we got this hardcore He-Man show. Kevin Smith's doing it. Mark Hamill's Skeletor. I'm ready. But then, Troll told me apparently He-Man's not really going to be in it that much. It's going to follow Teela more. Is that true? Because I think people might just be building up. But I like Teela and all, but like, that's not. Come on, man. Like, I've been waiting for this. Don't fool me into thinking it's a He-Man show when it's not. Come on. Oh. Let's see. Oh yeah, Call of Cthulhu ones. Yep. I think Call of Cthulhu is, very similar to World of Darkness. I think it uses a similar system, same sort of stuff. Funny thing about World of Darkness game I did years ago is that I didn't realize they have a lot of stuff online you can find free, and there's like so many monsters for the bestiary. I didn't know that. So the core rulebook just had like ghosts, and that was it. So I kind of had to sort of makeshift monsters. And what happened was they fought a lot of ephemeral, ghost-like specters and phantoms and stuff. And basically, they went to a point where there was this entire city that was essentially covered with this evil fog. And I probably let them. They could use their creativity to sort of come up with what they wanted. I tend to try to let them do that over time. And basically, they became the Ghostbusters, and they had these weird vacuum packs that they just ended up like slowly sucking up all the fog over time. Though I literally did have them fight. I think that was the game that they fought like Cthulhu or Cthulhu-esque monster, and many of them did not make it. Though surprisingly, some of them did. But that's probably that might be my favorite game that I ever ran. I really like World of Darkness, and I'd like to use it. And All Flesh Must Be Eaten is really good to use just for like more human-based zombie versus monster characters and stuff. Highly recommend it. It's very easy to use. Good for RP and stuff. Let's see. I don't know if it's a reboot. I want to say it's like a gritty reboot based more on the Masters of the Universe comics, but I also heard that it's like sort of a sequel to the original 80s show because it's supposed to be picking up where it left off, which I didn't think it really ever had a concrete ending. Like the last episode, he gave up his sword, but I don't think that was really meant to be like a definitive, open-ended, cliffhanger or something. It was just sort of the last episode, which was a good one. The Problem with Power, where He-Man accidentally kills somebody, or thinks he does. He's like, I am not worthy of the sword anymore. And he has to go get it back. Because, of course, He-Man needs his sword. I mean, come on. Yeah. It's a sequel, but you don't. I think you'll get He-Man. You get the basic concept of He-Man, you see. He's like, what does he say again? Oh, yeah. Whack. That's my favorite part of the intro. He's the most powerful man in the universe. And then he proceeds to punch the audience in the face to establish that fact. So, you know, I like that. I think, what did he say? My friends, fabulous secret powers were revealed to me. Fabulous. The day I held aloft, just this day he held aloft his magic sword and said, by the power of Grayskull. And you know how it goes. I have power, etc. But one day he just was like, you know what? I'm going to hold up my sword and just see what happens. And then lightning, and then boom. Quickest origin ever. I think it's a little more involved with that, but for the kids, got to sell some toys. Just, he became He-Man. It's fine. Teely is likely to take direction, but I hope it's not for the entire show. Yes. Searching for He-Man, and she'll likely take part one segment. Okay, that would be cool. I like to find He-Man, build up to He-Man. If that's what they're doing, I'm okay with it. But, I mean, granted, it's called Masters Universe. There are other characters. Orko looks really cool. He looks like a little goblin thing. He reminds me of that character from Final Fantasy IX. I forget his name. The little wizard guy. I really like his design. It's cool. Or I don't know. I'm impressed. Man at Arms looks awesome. Let's see. Oh, Kenny, what's up? Toriyama vouched for Black Clover. Now's the time. Final Kenshin live action is coming to Netflix. You know, I gotta catch up on those. I watched the first one a little while ago. It's really good, but I gotta finish the trilogy. Do people still like Kenshin now? Is that allowed? I know that the creator is kind of a little bit questionable now, isn't he? She's also destined to become the next sorceress. Yeah, apparently she's the sorceress's daughter. So she does need some development, add some to her character. Yeah, that's true. The problem is people are seeing it as an agenda by Kevin. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like talking about that stuff too much. Night Jogging, thanks for stopping by. My big issue with it is it's this thing that's come up in a lot of issues. I mean, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. There's that whole pushing sort of a political agenda, and I'm all for diversity, and I'm all for equality, and I'm all for all that stuff. But if it does take precedence over the story, and they're beating over your head, I think that's kind of annoying. I didn't think Kevin Smith would do that, but if it's a studio mandated thing, I don't know how much control he has over it. So we'll see. Like I said, Troll was a bit more upset about it than that. I'm going to try and give it a little more of a chance. I really was excited about it. I'm still trying to be, but yeah, I hope it's not all about Tila, because that's just false advertising. Put on ST hold a while back. Need to get back on it. Season 2, episode 17. Okay, well, you have to get past season 2. Have you met? That means you probably haven't met the Jem'Hadar yet, or soon you have. Because once you get to season 3 and it starts getting to be more about the Dominion, that's when DS9 just gets to the sweet spot. So keep it up, man. DS9 is quite excellent. Probably the best written Star Trek. I love DS9. I don't know if Hero agrees with me. Are you more of a next gen guy, Hero? It's okay if you are. Let's see. I like the original series myself, but that's just because I grew up with it, I guess. Am I the only person that doesn't know a lot of the My Hero? No, I'm there with you. It's ironic because I really love that show because I think it's got a great ensemble of characters, and I think of all the shonen I've seen, that is one of the strongest for having that core cast, right? But I can't remember many of the characters' names. I'm very invested in a lot of the side characters. Like, is it Froppy? The frog girl is like my favorite. I love her. I like, she got an episode. I'm like, that's great. But I don't remember. There's a guy that's half fire, half ice. There's the guy with the head of the class with the president he's got engines on his ankles, and there's the guy. I don't know. There's too many. They're great, but I don't remember their names. I don't remember. Let's see. What I'm expecting is the trailer cover the first episode, and the rest will be Tilo cooperating with Evil Lynn and trust issues, while Orko and the other characters get to shine. Hopefully, story will be good. Well, yeah, at least they're trying to give the other characters more time to shine. That is good. Vivi is the GOAT. That's right, Vivi. That's his name. That's his name. Gotta go back. Gotta play through 9. Another one of my classic ones that is on the list. But I always thought the aesthetic of it is pretty good. It's weird because I know that had some hate back in the day, but much like DS9, it's like now when I look at the top list for Final Fantasy games, 9 is usually either number 1 or very close. Definitely. Yes, Odo might be Odo might be my favorite character. I also really like Wei-Yun. Wei-Yun is actually probably my favorite villain in all of Star Trek because he's Jeffrey Combs, man. He's Jeffrey Combs. He just that just amazing voice. You know, it's all about the Federation rules and Federation regulations. Who cares about that? Hero in the Mass Effect, Froppy is GOAT. Yes, I will say it. Froppy is the GOAT, as they say. I'm saying it here. Give her a spinoff. I like frogs. I like amphibians. I think she's cool. She's cute. She's a cool character. And I like her dog voice because she sounds like she's talking like a frog. You know, that's just, and I'm all about it. You know, whatever. It's cool. Yes. Mass Effect is very good. Hero, I think. Hero. I think. Not to bully you, but I think Mass Effect is okay. The closest thing we're ever going to get to a Star Trek game, unless they just steal from BioWare, is Mass Effect. Like if you want, like it's basically a RPG, action RPG / shooter thing. I actually haven't played all of it. That's another thing I got to go back through and play. But Mass Effect's really classic. I think you'd like it. I think you'd really like it because it's kind of like a combination of Star Wars and Star Trek and a little bit of Stargate in there. It's a lot of good stuff. I recommend it. You get to kind of play the story a couple different ways, and you could make your character kind of an a-hole, or you could be more heroic, and you get different relationships with different characters. It's a very rich sci-fi universe. It's probably, based upon what I've seen, it's probably one of the best sci-fi games ever. I got to go. That's actually on my list to go back and play more of 2. And I still don't know if I'm ever going to play 3. So my one buddy got me Andromeda, which I didn't really. I kind of liked the fact that it felt more like the original game in some ways, but I don't know. I don't know how I felt about it. It was the graphics were kind of weird. It's kind of glitchy. The hair was glitchy and weird, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. Let's see. Facts. Okay. Yeah. You don't know which Star Trek you like the most. Just come out and say it, Hero. It's okay. I'm not going to judge you. Let's see. Q. I was just talking about Q earlier, actually. Q was antagonistic, but he's more of like he's sort of a mentor, but also he's learning from humans. So it's very interesting. He's one of my favorite characters. I was telling people in here that I think of the next gen episodes, the Q episodes are probably my favorites. I love Q. But usually there was like one Q episode per season, though they weren't always good. Q had a couple weak episodes, but most of them were really good. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Hero is one of the people that doesn't like Q. I don't know many people, but yeah, I know another guy that's like, man, I don't like Q. I don't get the deal with him. So there are some people that don't like Q, and I kind of get it because he is just, sort of a D. But it's John Delancey, man. And he's just like, he's meta. He's like, haha, I know about this Star Trek thing, and I'm just gonna poke fun of Picard. I think it's their relationship that's the best. People getting annoyed with how females perform in anime. What's your thoughts? You're gonna have to give me some more specifics. How they perform, like in terms of the story. I don't know anything about Demon Slayer. I know that one of the criticisms a couple people have said is that his sister is like a be the hero, but other than that, she doesn't really contribute anything to the story. I'm sure. Well, look, there are plenty of. There are plenty of good anime female characters that contribute to plots. In an action show, I'm sure they're there. It's gotten better than it used to be. I'm kind of drawing blanks now about great ones. Let me see. Hakusho had some good supporting characters that were women. I mean, obviously, Naruto and Bleach had plenty of female characters that people liked. Obviously, One Piece does. Dragon Ball had Android 18 and Bulma. So, yeah, they're out there. I mean, Attack on Titan had some good ones. That show, Blue Gender, what was her name? That was with Eric Vale. Who was her? She was just killing alien bugs. She was cool. There's Casca. There's females that do stuff. Like, what is this perform nonsense? Yes, I heard about the Ultimate Edition. All 3 games remastered, DLC. I recommend probably going that way if you want to update it. I have some friends that are playing through it again. It's like looks pretty. I'll probably just play the old versions because I got it all on Steam a while ago. I'm waiting for that summer sale so I can buy even more old games that I'll take years to finally play. Playing the new God of War now finally, and I'm really liking that so far. But yeah, Mass Effect's cool. We don't talk about Andromeda. But what about the Kevin Sorbo series? Aha. I might have to watch that. I remember people saying about anime since Hinata, Sakura, or Rahime. They all kind of did stuff, sort of, eventually, right? Like they just never really were in the spotlight to the same degree as some of the male characters. But I feel like those are bad examples. Like there are other female characters that did stuff, right? But yeah, watching those early episodes again did not do Sakura any favors. Like I was always like, this hate could not be real. I'm like, wow, she did nothing. She did absolutely nothing. Oh man, that was really bad. That was really bad, actually. Like I kept wanting to like it, but I mean, it took them like 3. Nothing would happen in an episode. Nothing. It's like, I will tell you how I spun this water around and not actually do anything. Let's see. While the channel slows down a little bit in terms of the chat, I'll take some more ideas about things to do for the channel over the next couple months. If anybody has any suggestions or requests, always taking them here. Yeah, because I'm kind of out of typical things to say right now. It finally happened. So, anybody got anything else? I'm gonna wait. Dozor doesn't want to talk about Andromeda. Didn't like the rock people or whoever they were. Because it was a sequel, right? Was it a sequel? It was a sequel, but how did they explain how it was a sequel? Did they finally fix the transports? Like, did that even happen? Oh, the Stormlight Archive and Legend of Drizzt. Check out many novels like that. I don't know those. I've actually been rereading The Lord of the Rings again, and I want to go through the Wheel of Time. Have you heard of that? That's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, that's good. Let me see. I actually had a list of. Let me see if I can find it because I made a list of books I wanted to check out. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, I think it's in the podcast file. Maybe. Okay. What do I got? The Once and Future King, Eye of the World, Last Unicorn. I want to actually read the Silmarillion. I got more fantasy. I got more sci-fi in here actually than fantasy, but I need to read the Once and Future King because that's like the basis for a lot of fantasy novels, and yeah. And I would recommend the Wheel of Time stuff. I think that's also getting a show soon too. Stormlight Archive. Honestly, a 10. I was about to say, like, it is 10 out of series. That rating scale. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to look this up now. The Stormlight Archive. Now, Zora, I got to ask you, have you ever heard of this fantasy novel called The Black Tree? Let's see, Stormlight Archive, epic fantasy by Brandon Sanderson. I know that author. Let's see, concepts. Wow, this already sounds in depth. Jeez, Way of Kings. That sounds familiar. The Stormlight Archive. Cool. I'll have to put that on the list. Yeah, that's classic. That I can already tell what they're going for there. Um, let me see books. Oh yeah, The Way of Kings is actually one of the things that comes up. You got, of course, the Game of Thrones stuff, The Name of Wind. Of course, you got the C.S. Lewis stuff. Oh yeah, the Earthsea Chronicles. I kind of wanted to check out. Too. There's the Northern Lights stuff. It's interesting what they kind of lump in here as fantasy. They do have Dune in here. That's more science fiction. They got, yeah, of course, Once the Future King. I'll tell you what, one of my favorite Stephen King books is actually The Eye of the Dragon. If you've never read it, I'd suggest you check it out. It's like the one high fantasy novel he ever did. Yeah, The Black Tree was written by this guy. It's a newer book. It's kind of like based on like classic fantasy tropes, D&D. His name is Joe Manduke. You might have heard of him. He decided to kind of put it out there. It's available on, I think, Audible now in audiobook form, and you can also check out the rest of it on Amazon. See if you can figure that out. Promotion gets even more smooth, people. That was pretty good. The Golem and the Genie by Helen Wecker. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that Neverwhere. Oh yeah. And have you ever read The Dark Tower too? Dark Tower's good too. Very, very dense. Least favorite aspects about my favorite series? Um, like anime series? Um, hmm. Hmm. Uh, that's a very broad question. Least favorite aspects about my favorite series. You know what? Narrow that down a little bit for me, actually. Narrow it down, and I'll answer it. I'm kind of thinking about, like, if it's like anime stuff. Hmm. I don't know. I'd have to think about what series. A lot of stuff early on that's not quite as interesting. Like, I think I literally skipped a season or two of that show early on and didn't really miss anything. Um, let's see. Oh, a hero needs to make a video about cool pickups. You got to do it, man. You got to do it. Fist of the North Star, no reboot. But why is that the case, though? Why are you mad about that? Are you mad about that because nobody appreciates North Star as much as they should because they're no reboot? Because, or you're just mad that it's not getting the attention because you want a reboot because you think that they could improve upon the old show? Because I think what the question was like your favorite aspect of the series itself. Like in DB, the balls rules. Well, uh, I don't know how they managed to get past that all those times because I think it's just because the show could be so addicting to get into. Um, I don't know. Um, you know, the fact that the balls became less of a focus eventually and just a way to bring people back. And I kind of wish that it was a little more permanent of consequences. Um, I also really hate that. Like, once again, it's imbalanced. That's why they kept Goku out for a long time. So that is kind of an annoying trope that everybody's made fun of. Let's see. Yes, JoJo. Wow, but he's right though. I mean, that's essentially like that. Anybody that likes JoJo kind of already likes North Star, even if they don't know it, because that's what's surprising is that I feel like that popularity there probably would have given enough of a market for North Star to get a reboot. I think they could really condense North Star. Everything should get a Kai. Okay, everything should get a Kai. North Star Kai. Let's trim the fat. Let's go for it. Favorite book, manga, or light novel you want to see animated or made into live action? Hmm. It's a good question. It's been on my mind a lot lately, but I really like Guyver, and I kind of want to go back and watch it. And though that did get a live action thing years ago, I thought it was kind of a little cheesy, obviously. And I think Guyver getting like a live action series would be really cool, or a movie. That would be awesome. I think it could be done well, really play up the horror elements of it. Uh, I actually think Eye of the Dragon would make a good movie as well for Stephen King stuff. I also really want. I'd love to see if Insomnia got a movie too, because that might be harder to do. But that could be a series, like a mini series. That's a really interesting one for a King that's never really been tapped, and I'm surprised about that. what's what's a I'm gonna regret looking this up. Oh, oh, I'm glad that it's equal now, at least across the genders. Um, well, I believe the term begins with a G, and I often bring it up, but I guess if we're going for the G, I guess it's always, let me see if I can remember her name. Hold on. Oh, man. What is her name? Ryoko. Ryoko from Tenchi Moyu is my default answer for that question. But I guess technically, because she's hundreds of years old, she wouldn't be that first term. So I guess. Oh man, why is this? We've gotten to this point in the chat now where it's going to start getting less than PG. Um, you know what? I always liked Chi Chi. Okay, I might be in the minority there, but I always kind of liked her, so this will be that one. But for gentlemen, I don't know. For gentlemen, I know there's a handsome dad out there. We could just say Shinji's dad. He's got a great voice. We'll go with that. Maybe father, right? They're perfect for what we're asking for, right? Not at all. I just can't immediately think of anything. Oh man. Okay, where North Star needs to happen, trim the fat, update the detail, faster pace, uncensored violence, draw everything from the manga. Yes, like I think that would be glorious and people would love it. And then people are like, oh man, North Star best thing ever now because we can't just appreciate classic stuff. It's more rustic, and I love that stuff. I don't mind that it's older. I actually kind of appreciate it sometimes in a lot of cases. But that's what you got to do. You got to make it flashier and kind of make it true to the manga, and people will act like it was the best thing ever. And even though a lot of people have appreciated it, but that's what you got to do. Got to make it flashy and put it out there for people now. Make it a seasonal show. Boom. People doing episode reviews and reactions and be like, whoa. But a lot of people now will probably be like, oh, this seems very JoJo-esque. Like, this is ripping off JoJo, and JoJo's cooler because they got stands, more stylish. It's got to be one of those things. It's got to be like if they ever do Dark Side for real. Well, actually, they finally did. But in the movies, man, this guy seems like a Thanos ripoff, and I'll be like, no, it's that sort of thing. It's that sort of thing, unfortunately. Yep. Which is not true. Yep. Oh yeah, people think Joe because people don't research anything. I mean, come on, that's just the wiki search away. That's ridiculous. Yakuza style. Yeah, I think some of those games are good. People like those. I mean, the show to trend. Look, Bulma's cool, all right, but look, I kind of appreciate what Chi Chi has to offer. In that sense, I'm not saying I think Bulma's not arguably a better character. I mean, in some ways she is, but I appreciate Chi Chi's character, and I don't know. I think. I mean, look, if we're gonna go waifu, the obvious answer would be like Android 18, but everybody's gonna say that. So that I'm trying to make it more interesting. Nobody says Chi Chi because she's horrible, but she has a reason to be. I mean, look what she's dealing with. Okay, I think she's one of the most sympathetic characters. I never made a video about it, but I should because she needs more respect, more love. I'm telling you, she's overcompensating, but her concerns for Gohan are real and they're well founded. And I agree. I agree. But I like her. She's cool. She's got the chi-chis, as they say. Yes, I know. Android 18, everybody would accept. I know. That's too easy. It's too easy. Who else is there? Launch is cool, but that would be just frightening. Fujiko, yes. Fujiko, yes, that's a good one. It's also you got to be careful with what you say about some of them, I guess, at this point. I don't know. The weirdest JoJo pose. Now that's a good question. Giorno. Wow. Well, we went there. We went there. I mean, sometimes people just start dropping little bombs in the chat, and I love it. Amazingly though, we have gone through an entire chat thus far, and nothing has come up saying, "Oh, okay, like should we put this through?" There hasn't been anybody that's put anything really questionable, like F Marvel for this or something. It's always somebody, but no, it's been very cordial in the chat, which I do appreciate. It has been. It has been. I've been, like I said, everything I've been watching is like older and not anime related, except for Fruits Basket, which his last episode is coming up like tomorrow. So that show is really good, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll do a video about it. We'll see. I probably could because that show got really dark at the end, and I was like, wow, this got a lot less cute faster than I thought it was going to be. So that was pretty intense. What else was there? That's pretty much it, except for watching some classic stuff again that I need to rewatch. No. What's been going on with E3? Is E3 going on right now? Oh yeah, it is. I did see a trailer about that. Okay. Let's see. What's E3's 2021 schedule? Half-Life 3? Confirmed? Confirmed. Okay, let's see. Half-Life 3 definitely happening. Okay. Literally, Half-Life's just on my brain, so it's kind of all I care about right now. Okay, any reveals? They got schedules. Okay, come on. Tell me what they're going to do. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know what that is. Tell me a thing I know. Okay, Capcom Showcase. Okay, Ace Attorney, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil. Okay, more stuff there. More DLC for that. That should be cool. I might have to actually play Resident Evil again. Metroid Prime 4. Ooh, might have to get. Well, I do. She has a Switch now, so maybe I could get it for that because I do love Metroid. I need to play more Metroid. I love definitely my favorite Nintendo thing because it's like retro sci-fi. But Samus. Let's see. Scarlet Nexus. Don't know what that is. Okay, Vampire the Masquerade is getting a new one. Ooh, a Lord of the Rings Gollum game. Let's check this out. Is that a sequel? Is that going to be in the Shadow of Mordor? Oh, stealth stuff. That could be really interesting. Escape from Barad-dûr when he's captured by Sauron. Ooh, that could be interesting. Like a stealth game with Gollum. Cool. And the Vampire Masquerade game, I want to kind of play the classic one because that's also based on a really good, what do you call it, a tabletop system, which I've never played that. I mean, I played the Werewolf the Apocalypse, so I gotta try and get better with the system though. Dragon Age 4. Ooh. Oh man. See, this is why I don't look at it because I'm not gonna play these till years from now. Let's see. Okay, I don't know any of that stuff. Got a lot of stuff though. Oh yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy single player thing. More remaster for Final Fantasy. Hitman Sniper. Okay. Okay, more Life is Strange. That's cool. Don't expect much Elder Scrolls 6 until who knows. Starfield. Oh, we getting Starfield finally? Okay, that would be cool. Oh, a Perfect Dark remake. I was just thinking about that the other day. Stalker 2. Oh man, and I had to play Stalker 1. I was like, Just Cause. Okay, there are a lot of things. Sea of Thieves is getting more stuff. Psychonauts. Oh wait, people want a new Psychonauts for a long time. Okay, a Halo thing, which I don't know if people care about anymore. Okay, more. Okay, they're adding more Fallout stuff to 76. Age of Empires. Wow, there is a lot of stuff coming out actually. Jeez, some Doctor Who VR stuff. Rainbow Six. Far Cry 6 DLC. Watch Dogs. My goodness. More expansions for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Fuck. This is actually, wow. Baldur's Gate 3. This can't all be coming out next year. This is ridiculous. Oh, yeah, okay, it did say 2022. Man, this is just ridiculous. Holy crap. Microsoft's is interesting. Elder Ring, Merlin. Elden Ring. Elden Ring? Elden Ring. All right, what's Elden Ring? Okay, a video game, obviously, when I search into Google. George R. R. Martin. Okay, what the heck is this? Yes, I am more than okay. The golden order has been broken. Rise, tarnished, and be guided by grace to brandish the power of the Elden Ring, Tolkien reference, and become Elden Lord in the lands between. In the lands between by Queen Marika, the Eternal. This looks really cool. The Elden Ring, the source of Erd Tree, has been shattered. Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring, known as the Great Runes, and the mad tent of their newfound strength triggered a war. The Shattering. A war that meant the abandonment by the greater will. Oh my. And now the guidance of grace will be brought to the tarnished, who were spurned by the grace of gold and exiled to the lands between. Ye dead who yet live, your grace long lost. It's got like a Dark Souls vibe to it. Follow the path of the lands between, beyond the foggy sea to become and stand before the Elden Ring. Become the Elden Lord. Wow, I'm just looking at this trailer. This was really cool. Wow. Yeah, I'm getting like Dark Souls vibes. I'm getting a little bit of like Witcher vibes. Looks really cool though. Elden Ring and George R. R. Martin. I don't know if it's one of his books or if it's like a new thing he wrote for the game. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I was about to say it looked like it plays kind of like Dark Souls mechanics. FF Souls like DMC style. I need his Guardians finally gets a game. Waiting for TMNT Shredder's Revenge game news. Streets of Rage 4. Sly Cooper game finally? That'll make Shannon happy. Oh man, she loves the Sly Cooper games. Oh man. Oh Honey Lemon, excuse me. Secret identity revealed. Meanwhile, Sonic is happening, but don't know what it'll be about. Oh, another Sonic game? Man, they haven't had too many good games for a while, have they? Yep, that looks really cool. Yeah, the original Vampire Masquerade. Yeah, I heard it was good. I saw it's on Steam for pretty cheap. I might get it. Like I said, I'm waiting for that sale. Sonic needs help, poor guy. Yeah, literally, when was the last really good Sonic game? Like 20 years ago? Seriously? Isn't Seth Rogen doing a TMNT movie or something? That'd be cool. I could see him like voicing one of the turtles. I'm big on character action games that don't sell well. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, yep. 5e mechanics, pretty awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. That's the word. Thought it was junk. Link versus Cloud Death Battle. Who you got? Didn't that already happen? Didn't that happen? That was a thing that happened like years ago, right? That happened, right? Didn't they have Link fight Cloud? Or Link fight Link Death Battle? Yeah, didn't they do that? Yeah, Link versus Cloud. That was like 2012 Death Battle. And didn't who won that? Didn't I think Cloud won it because Link didn't have enough of his tools or something? Because without the magic, he was fine. Wait, they did Link versus Trunks? Oh my. Wow. They're doing it again because of the new game. No. No. Um My money would actually probably be on Link just because I feel like he does have more magical. I don't know. Link is tough, but Link is more, I think he's more meant to be like kind of a sort of mortal. I know he's elvish, but like if we take into account what you can do with the games, I mean, of course, Cloud's from a Final Fantasy game, so we can literally go to like teleport you to a battle screen where he can like rain down asteroids upon you. So I don't know. I know that Link's a tough guy, but I'd probably give it to Cloud to be completely honest. Yep, Dark Souls. Sly Cooper getting merch. I hope they do. I do because I thought it was really interesting. They started out with Sly Cooper games, and then I think they went and did the that one superhero game that everybody liked. Was it what was that called? Get like powers and it's like an open world city destroyer game. What's that company? What game was it? Can't remember. Sly Cooper game. Sly Cooper developer. I'm looking it up now. Might not see it in the chat. Can find it now. Okay, developed by. Okay, these I'm just looking at random Sly Cooper thing. Okay, let's see if we can do this quick. Wiki. Okay. Sly Sanzuru games. Okay. They did some Sonic games. And wow, this is not that's not correct at all. There must have been a different company involved because that's not what they did. Okay, that's who developed it. I'm talking about what engine did they use? What people were these? Son of a gun! What was it? Ah, shoot! I forget. Raccoonsaurus. I played a little Sly Cooper. Those games are fun. What was the direct? Who were they? What am I thinking of, guys? Look in the chat. No one told me yet. Sly Cooper, and what did those people do? All right, I'm going to look up the one game. Ghosts of Tsushima. Those people. Okay, developed by Sucker Punch Productions, who, yes, they did Sly Cooper games first, and then they did Infamous. That's right, which is weird. That's what they were doing for a long time. Infamous. Weird transition. Okay, not optimistic. Yes! Trunks counts as a swordsman. That's like his most defining thing. I mean, he got trained by Taiwan. Is that canon? I mean, I don't know if he's the best swordsman, but he uses a sword. He's got a magic sword that can slice, Frieza level guys up. So, counts as a swordsman. I actually wish he used his sword more and it factored in, but we can't have weapons. That would just be weird to upgrade people. Yep, vintage games are getting released. The collection getting bigger. In-way character ranking. Probably not my question. Is this a slam dunk question? Oh, he did Vagabond too. I feel like that's more of a Zorro question. I don't know, Zorro. You like Vagabond more or Kingdom more? I don't know. Sly 4. Yep, Sucker Punch for the original guys. That's right. That's what was confusing me. Okay, that's why, because it's promoting it. All right, all right, all right. But yeah, Sucker Punch, that's weird because they did like these. I mean, to be fair, sometimes these gaming developers, they kind of go all over the place in terms of what they do, and it's surprising. But yeah, Sly Cooper, Infamous, and Ghost of Tsushima, which looked really cool. And then they're doing, I guess somebody's doing Sly again. He loves both. I'm gonna reveal this. Is this okay for the chat, Zoro? Okay. Show. Okay, I don't know why it said to hide that. He says Vagabond's bigger. He does one of these, Pac-Man it up. Vagabond, I believe, yeah, I remember he told me Vagabond was good. Though, Zoro, that's right. I still have to thank you again. Vinland Saga, great manga. Haven't read it in a while, but I did get into it for a while. I was kind of obsessed. And it's weird. I know the anime is out, but I feel like people aren't talking about it. Like, freaking, it's just anime Vikings. Like, if you ever watched the show Vikings, it's like the same thing, but I still like it. It's really good, but is that in a show not as popular as it could be? Like, I feel like one should be blowing up. Oddest comments I've gotten on YouTube, just not. It's actually usually not too bad. Sometimes some political questions, sometimes some sexual questions. I've been flirted with a little bit on here. Don't know if it was real or not. Let's see. Oh, oh yeah, getting a dub, nice. Um, Anime is incredible. Yeah, I haven't watched it because usually the way it is, if I read the manga first, I usually never watch the anime because I'm like I don't need to. It's always one or the other. Like if I watch the anime, that's what I want, and I stick with it. Then I don't usually read the manga. It's just the way I am. But yeah, so I'm like, oh, I get it. I've already read all this stuff. So I see the clips. I'm like, oh yeah, that's when he did this. Thorfinn did this. But interesting, it's only on Prime, so it's not available on like Funimation or anything. Okay, it makes sense now. Because I told some of my friends about it. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, if you actually saw it, you'd probably be like, oh. But I have Prime, so I could watch it. Maybe I will. People watch Vinland Saga, read the manga. That's probably one of the best recent things I actually checked out. That was really good. For a while, I was reading the Vinland Saga, and I was reading the IDW Turtles comics. I was like, I'll read an issue of this, then read an issue of that, read an issue of this, that. So that was like the two comics I was reading really good for a while. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's very good. I'm sure it's good, but I'll get to it. I'm sure if I started watching it, I'd probably watch it all again. But yeah, that show gets dark, I'm sure. Let's see. I watched Gotham by Gaslight again, and I thought that was pretty good. Yep, they're doing the Long Halloween, which, oh, you've never read the Long Halloween? I'm gonna say it right here, and I think that. Oh, Kenny too. Uh, I think that Long Halloween is probably my favorite Batman story, and it's honestly one of my favorite graphic novels. I love Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. They are my favorite team. Like I love all their stuff. They usually do like the, origins and kind of do more modern interpretations of like the early adventures of all these classic heroes. And Tim Sale's got like a really weird art style, but it's cool. I really love it. It's basically this neo noir murder mystery about following all these gangsters. So it's kind of about Batman sort of dealing with the serial killer that's going around killing all these gangsters and sort of eliminating the mafia in old Gotham. And this is right at the same time when his villains are starting to pop up, and it's really cool because it's kind of like a major crossover. Like almost every classic Batman villain is somehow established and already in here, but they're like in these minor little things, and he's just trying to figure out who's doing it. It's a really good mystery, really well written, has a great crime noir feel to it, and I like its sequel to Dark City, though it's not quite as good. Good stuff, really, about the origin of Two-Face. Basically, Dark Knight borrowed a lot from Long Halloween as well as Batman Year One. Maroni and all that stuff. Falcones, really good stuff. So I always like the organized crime, mafia stuff too. So they really do that well, and they got like a lot of the classic designs for people, but it's more violent and gruesome, of course. But I love Long Halloween. So the thing is, though, I'm a little nervous because there's this thing lately, the last couple of years, where I feel like DCAU's been doing justice to these classic Batman stories, but then they change something with it that kind of almost ruins it. Like, for instance, Hush is also another Jeff Loeb story. Hush, of course, is one of the biggest, more recent. It's kind of older now, but one of the another big Batman story, and the animated movie did a really good job being very faithful to Hush storyline. I'm like, wow, this is basically the comic brought to animation. This is great. This is pretty much the exact same thing. And then they changed the ending, which I want to get Troll on because he's a big Batman fan. He loves Hush. I think he really loves Hush. And so I was like surprised he hadn't watched it yet because he doesn't really like a lot of movies now. And I understand why, but I want him to see the ending because I feel like his reaction is going to be stronger than mine. And yeah, I'm worried with Long Halloween. They might be extremely faithful, but then they might change it up at some reason. So the ending of Hush was like, why did they do that? The ending was fine the way it was. I did not watch Invincible. I've known about the comic for a long time. Now, of course, it's popular because it's got a show. Some people have told me to check it out, and I'm sure it's fine. But the thing about it is, like, all these superhero shows are just being gritty for gritty's sake, and it's kind of annoying. Like, we had Kick-Ass, and now we had Watchmen. Like, fine, we had Dark Knight Returns. Okay, we've got The Boys, and like The Boys is good, but I'll be honest, I watched a season of The Boys, and then I started the second. I'm like, like, I get it. It's kind of dark. It's kind of a little unpleasant. Violence for violence sake, shock value. I don't really like any of the characters. I mean, I kind of do. Carl Urban's cool, I guess, but it's hard to get invested after a certain point. And I feel like Invincible's just going to be like that. Another evil Superman or something. Like, we've done this a bunch of times. I get it. We've had enough gritty superheroes. If they all start being like that, it's like, you're allowed to have fun once in a while. So I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure Invincible's great. But I don't know. People have told me like I would like it. I'm just like, it's a little exhausting after a certain point, isn't it? I'll check it out though. I will check it out. Let's see what else we got. Nightfall. Ooh, Nightfall would be cool. I always was wondering if they would do an Arkham Asylum animated movie or something, but I guess the game's kind of already borrowed as much from that because my buddy Justin was saying it's a really weird story because of the artwork, but would that transfer to a film or something? There isn't really a lot of story except for flashbacks about Arkham. So most of Batman's just kind of like in there randomly fighting people. So it's more of a metaphor, I guess, than anything. My favorite films, Red Hood is very good. And the other ones, just kill him after he took you away from me. Yes, that's actually the movie that kind of turned me around on Jason Todd a little bit. So that movie, they did a good job. That's probably the last really great one I saw, and that was kind of a while ago, wasn't it? It was like 2010 or something like that. Is that it's not Idris Elba though, is it? Because that's an interesting question. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much, I guess, race and stuff like that factors into the character. I don't know if it really matters, because if he embodies what Superman's about, he's an alien. If we change his race, I mean, I don't know if it's really a big deal. Like, I think with Superman, you could kind of get around it. There's only certain characters where I think like where they're from is kind of factoring into who they are. Like Batman being at this point being a rich white guy from an old American family kind of makes sense because his family, I think at least in the comics, goes back to, I think, like colonial days when they had a lot of wealth. So just historically makes sense for him, I guess. But maybe after a certain point that won't matter. I'm pretty flexible with a lot of that, but it's just kind of what we're used to. But I understand how it's sensitive because we're so used to certain things. I don't know. honestly, if they get a good actor and a good story and good direction, and he seems like Superman, hey, does he, does the pinnacle of traditional American values have to be a white guy? I mean, I don't think so. He's from another planet. I don't know. Maybe they should just make it Martian Manhunter, and then we just go completely different level. It's like Spock, because we had everybody on the Enterprise, right? We had we had Americans, we had Russians, and we had people of African descent, Asian descent. We had Scotsmen, and we had aliens, we had Vulcans, and then it got to even more diverse. So transplanetary. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. You're right. Okay. Oh. All right. Look, Dark Knight Returns is still up there for me. And yes, RoboCop was Batman. Peter Weller was effing Batman. I can't. Great casting, great voice. It's RoboCop. So of course, yes, no. Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Dark Knight Returns was great, very faithful, pretty much exactly like the comic, minus even more. No, great, brilliant, absolutely brilliant adaptation. Love it. Would love to watch those again. Great movie. Great long 3-hour movie. Wonderful. Um, Kevin Conroy, I don't know if he's not doing as much Batman stuff. They're mixing it up. Some of the Batman movies have different voice actors. I think Bruce Greenwood's done a couple, speaking of Star Trek. Um, Yoko Kanno, yep, doing the music for the Bebop live action. Nice. I'm hoping that's going to be good. Netflix has been pretty hit or miss with some of their anime live action adaptations. So we'll see. I feel like it's either going to be great or horrible. I don't know. I could see it stirring a lot of controversy no matter what. But it'd be great if it was just a wonderful adaptation. I think it's American, right? It's not Japanese. Oh man, yeah. Kevin's done a lot of. He's getting up there, so he probably can't do as much as he used to. Spidey, Superman, and Saiyan vibes from Invincible. Oh, okay, nice. I think so. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Never mind. Good point, hero. Good point. We already have Black Superman. You know what? Scratch that. Scratch that, actually. Everything I just said. Because the whole point of After Death of Superman, we had all those people trying to take his place and stand in for him. And one of them was Steele, who really admired Superman and modeled himself. And he was a self-made man. Much like Tony Stark built the suit. He has a freaking hammer. He had a cheesy movie in the 90s. Steel. Iconic. That guy needs a remake. Steel's awesome. You know what? Yeah, no. Don't make no. Before we make Superman another shot. Effing Steel, man. Steel's awesome. Like Steel's great. Excellent point. Actually, really good point. We don't need that because we have Steel. Steel, come on. But DC, don't tell me they don't have faith in Steel. Come on. That's a good point. That's a really good point. You have characters established that already meet that element of diversity that are great and wonderful examples of that. So, good call. Steel. Shaq himself. Oh, man. Yes, Steel is great. Good point. Henry Cavill, Superman, personally. Yeah, I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. Like I'm kind of I guess I was in the camp of I like Man of Steel. Like I really liked Man of Steel. I think it's a good movie. And they just did not handle his character well. I mean, Superman, he was a good Superman, you know? I mean, he was still a good guy. He was just challenged by more complicated situations, and they dealt with some more moral issues. And yeah, it took a bit of a dark turn, but I thought that was an origin story where, like, okay, he killed Zod, all right, because at that time he wasn't sure how to handle it. Obviously, there was a lot of destruction caused, and they did mention the consequences, and then later he learns not to take a life again, and then he's, really standing by those values. And he's Superman. It was an origin story, and he looked great in the suit, and they was battling Zod. It was like DB style, and bam, bam, great charisma. You know, you know, it's just that he wasn't given anything to do. They took away his personality. How badly the DC movies have been handled. I think he got a raw deal as Superman, and I don't know if he's coming back to do more, but I hope he does. I really do. I agree, man. I want him to be there more. But hey, if that doesn't work out, he's got more Witcher, which I don't know if I told you. I watched that like a while ago. Man, I love that show. I need to play the game. I did play the first game a little bit. I really like it. I'm trying to do them in order. My buddy literally got me Witcher 3. Just play this. I'm like, no, I'm going to play them in order. And I like a lot of things about Witcher 1, but the combat, I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm like, what is this? I feel like what is this? Yeah, I just blow people over because I'm like, it's impossible. Yeah, the combat's a little annoying, but he was great as the Witcher. I liked him a lot. That's one of my favorite fantasy shows. Those are probably some novels to read if you check them out. Yeah, Man of Steel was good, right? Yeah, I played 2 a long time ago, but I was like a bit confused, and I didn't know how I felt about the combat then. But so I'm trying to give 1 more of a chance. But I don't know how far that's going to go. I'll probably just give in. I know that if I play 3, I'm just going to play that one, and I'm going to try to give 2 another chance, and then I'll get there. I also played Bully for the first time. I've been enjoying that because that was one that was recommended to me a long time. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but that's like sort of PG Rockstar game, and I really like the story and the voice acting, and the music's actually really good. It's not the vibe I was expecting, but it's really intense. I really like Bully. Bully's pretty good so far. So that's kind of what I've been dabbling around when I try to get past my Half-Life obsession and just don't play like hours and hours of more deathmatch. Yeah. I got 2. I got all the Witcher games, man. I've got them all now. So yeah, I do. I have 2. I've got them all. I'm trying to play them in order. And I think 1, I really like the characters. I like fighting with the people in the bars to get money, and being a Witcher, trying to find out what happened at the castle, and and this lady was like, hey, I really appreciate what happened to us before. And I'm like, and he's like, well, I lost my memories. I don't really remember what it was like before. And she's like, I'd like to thank you. I'm like, okay. And I gave an answer because I don't know if I hit it accidentally or I misinterpreted what it was, but then, then we lay down in the bed, and then there's the cutscene, and then I'm like, oh, I wasn't trying to play it that way, but wow, okay. So that's Geralt for you, I guess. But I'm like, what the heck? I knew that one guy was just going to die immediately. They set him up to be like, oh, yeah, he's the new guy, new Witcher. I'm like, well, yeah, he's not going to make it. Oh, wow. Yeah, Rockstar, let's see. Let me just, what's the, bad example of me playing basketball. Horrible. But, yes, Rockstar, he says they never miss. I'm going to look up the list now. Going to look up the list, Zora. We're going to look up all the Rockstar games. See if they ever missed. Looking it up. Go to Wikipedia, look it up. Okay, here we go. Oh, they produced films. We're not going to go by that. Games published. Gaming philosophy. Okay. Earthworm Jim 3D. All the Grand Theft Auto games. Austin Powers. Oh, behave. Grand Theft Auto 3. Beautiful. Max. Vice City, never played it, heard it's good. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, also beautiful. Manhunt, game scared me, good stuff. Red Dead Revolver, we know where that led to, good stuff. San Andreas, pretty classic. The Warriors, pretty awesome from what I hear. Various Grand Theft Auto things, Liberty City Stories. So 3, good. Bully, seems pretty great. Manhunt 2, probably also good. 4, I don't know if I'd call it a miss, but probably people's least favorite. Grand Theft Auto Oh, Red Dead Redemption. Oh, snap. L.A. Noire, Max Payne 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, and online, Red Dead Redemption 2, Poop Physics, and some of those I haven't played. But based upon what I have played and reputation and history alone, wow, they don't miss too much. Rockstar, wow. I didn't know they did LA Noire. That makes sense. I was about to say, did they do Sleeping Dogs? But that's just a copy. But by extension, because they were copying off GTA, Sleeping Dogs is amazing. I'm sure that influenced Yakuza as well. So Rockstar. It's like Rocksteady, Bebop and Rocksteady. I mean, terrible example once again because Ninja Turtles. I don't know where this is going, but excellent. Great stuff. Kenny, you ask a very difficult question. Favorite YouTube video I created? Oh, I don't know. Let me look at my videos. I'm gonna be a little self-indulgent now. Let's see. Probably something from the last couple of years because I've been trying to make my editing better, and I've really been trying to produce better quality stuff. Let me see. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Gotta go to videos. Gotta go to vidges. Vidges. Manage your vids. All right. A video that I made probably recently. Forgive me. I'm gonna actually look through this for a bit, see if I can give a decent answer. The RoboCop video I did with Hero and Dead and Kai was pretty cool, but that was like only 1/4 me. That was fun. Some of the movie retrospectives have been pretty good that I've liked doing. But I think my one for Merlin was actually pretty good. I really liked doing that one because it was kind of a silly rant for the beginning about Star Trek. So that was kind of funny. I liked doing the one for Dune and The Thing. I liked those a lot. My Ninja Scroll one I thought was pretty fun. Oh boy. My flamethrowers and cinema videos I've enjoyed. Like, I think The Hidden was actually the first one I did, which was fun. And I like the one I did for The Exterminator. And I spent a lot of time editing the audio for the Jurassic Park one I did. So probably those, like either the Jolo's movies, retrospectives, and the Flamethrowers in Cinema are probably my favorites of what I've done in terms of just like editing and production thus far. But otherwise, just like old retrospectives. I think a lot of my old dramatic readings and stuff were fun back in the day. But yeah, those are probably my favorites in terms of videos. So probably the Exterminator or Exterminator 2 video was pretty good. What's the deal with Bad Sorrow? Yeah, I think that was when Joker got the Mr. Mxyzptlk powers, and I think he made Bad Sorrow in that time, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they very rarely miss. Yep. Take it easy, Zorro. Yep. It's probably about that time soon anyway, so I completely understand. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Anybody have any last-minute questions or comments? And we'll probably wrap it up in just a few minutes here. Yeah, I said it wouldn't be too late. So this actually went on longer than I thought, 2 hours. But I'll probably do a stream or two at some point this week, and I might do some more gaming streams too, possibly. Let's see, what do I have planned? I want to do another retrospective. Probably gonna be on The Godfather because it tied with Kill Bill. So that might be coming up soon. I also want to do another Comics Without Context video, and I want to do this, try a series out for best worst episode ever, looking at best worst episodes or entries in a film franchise. So that's another possibility. I want to try and do two. got to kind of wrap up before the summer here, because come fall, I think I'm going to be putting out a lot less videos for a while. So like I said, any final requests or things, try to get some videos done. I want to try and do maybe a couple videos about Hakusho, Fullmetal Alchemist again, because I know maybe like a character analysis or something, because it might be a while before I do one. I know people like those. So any ideas, let me know here. Please check out The Black Tree, my book, if you haven't. Audiobook is available now, Amazon Audible and iTunes, or you can read it. Give me some movie ideas, because I'm thinking about future film projects. Yeah, I have a couple things kicking around, so might be a year or two before I do anything, but that's always a possibility as well. So I'm going to say night to everybody. Might do some videos with the Phantom group, hopefully. Otherwise, I'd say goodbye. But Kenny had one last question, so that's what I'll answer. Do I think they ruined the power system? I think Kurapika kind of does, because he kind of he kind of does in terms of some of the Phantom group members, and I think Miriam's stats were different in terms of that, and Krollo is just a cheater. So I think he kind of potentially ruins it, but well, I guess we might see some point how that develops. But some of the power scaling does get a little weird. But to be fair, that's also what makes Hunter x Hunter interesting in terms of the narrative, is that you don't really know exactly how the protagonists are going to be placed. So that's kind of a pro with the con, I guess. All right, everybody, have a good night. Stay magical.